How crazy. It's Walter. So let's throw all of these away. Yes. This is his wicked side glance. Okay? His side eye.
It is weird that he's staring at the camera.
It is kind of. It's like,
He's like
he
smoldering.
knows.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's becoming self-aware.
He's becoming self-caught.
All right, so we are going to select him. Now, just a quick review of some of the selection tools. We have the Move tool, right? So if you look at the toolbar is split up into your selection tools up here at the top, your painting and editing tools in the second quadrant, third quadrant, your vector tools, and then the fourth, you've got some random like foreground and background, the hand, and then the zoom. And then you've also got quick mask and view modes. So we're going to deal with the first couple up here. We have the Move tool. First I'm going to duplicate this just in case. The second is the Marquee tool. If I wanted to select him, the Marquee tool is not a great tool, right? He's just not marquee shaped. So this is, right? He's not even elliptical marquee shaped. These two tools are great when you're doing something that is more geometric, right? So I think these two, you'll also have got single, I will sometimes use single row design if I'm adding a static effect. I like to do that. But for this, not so much. The second, we've got the lasso, the polygon lasso, and the magnetic lasso. These are all freehand drawing. They're all freehand selection tools where you draw the selection. So we've got a lasso, which you probably could do, but actually would be kind of hard to get all the way around, you know, and not veer off, okay? So that's maybe not the best choice. But we've got underneath it the polygon tool. Let's zoom in a little bit. And you can see if you had all hard edges, you can draw a little line and click to place a point. But I'm just going to select his ear here. It is giving you right angles, right? Which is not the greatest for selecting something that's organic. When you get to the end of that selection, you'll see the little circle next to the cursor. So that might work too, because there are ways to soften up that selection. And then you've got the magnetic lasso tool, and this one would actually probably work pretty well. You click to make little anchors. It's picking up a lot of the detail behind him because it's very similar in color, but you probably could work around him pretty well. And I'm not going to take too long with it. I'm just going to make kind of a basic. You can see it's following along pretty well. The chair is kind of screwing with it a little bit because the chair has similar values. And then I'm going to pretend that there's a foot there and that he has gigantic feet. Let's keep going up there. You can see how it's sticky, right? And it works pretty well in areas where there is not that chair. Like now we got a little thing over here. You've got to go back to the first one and hit 0. So that's a good start of a selection. If you wanted to fix the selection, you've got a couple of options. One is Q. Press Q to go into Quick Mask, and you'll notice that what happens in your layer is it goes from being blue to gray. And in your channels, you get a temporary channel called Quick Mask. And it's italicized, meaning it is temporary. When you're done with the selection and you deselect, this will not be here anymore, okay? Well, I like Quick Mask mode because I can go Q, I can grab my brush, get kind of a medium hardness, zoom in, and using black in the foreground and white, just kind of go around and pick it, just refine it a little bit. So this is a great way, if you made a selection that's not the perfect selection, to go in and make it a pretty good selection.
How'd you get there?
I hit Q. Q to exit, Q to exit. Q to enter, Q to exit. So I'm going to really quickly go around and just pick up some of the chair bits here that are very close in color to his head. And I'm using the space bar. When I hit the space bar, it temporarily turns into the hand. Okay. Yep, and I'm using the space bar to go to the hand to move around. Then we'll go over here, right, a little bit right there. If you went in too far, you can just hit X, and X will, so if I wanted to include part of the leash, I could. Okay. Let me go down and look at his, we don't want this. So whatever is masked will be this red and will not be part of the selection. So I'm kind of making a fake foot for him there. Get his undercarriage and his little puppy claw. This is tough because who knows? I'm not sure where he starts and ends. You know, he's got a really pretty pronounced butt, so we're just gonna leave that for what it is. So I am just editing that selection. When I hit Q to exit, right, I have got a really nice selection. Now here's the thing. If this takes you 15, 20 minutes to do, are you going to want to do this again every time you need to select him? No, you might not need to select him again. If it's a one-time shot selection, then you may not have to save the selection. But because I'm doing several different things today with selections, I'm going to hit actually Q to go back in and just get a little more of his maw. Kind of, right, there we go.
So what would it do if you were to put a random dot like somewhere out in the red?
I'll show you.
Would it select it too?
If I went like this,
Yeah.
and I hit Q,
It would just select that over there. Okay.
so that's what's so great about going in and out of Q is that you can see where your selection is, right? So that's quick mask. And notice that when we went in and out of Q, we had this temporary italicized mask, okay? Now, I spent a lot of time on that, okay? I once had a student who selected a horse buggy and like this old photograph, and she spent like an hour doing a quick mask, and then class was over. And I said, if you shut that file down, you will lose that selection. And then she started to cry. I'm like, no, I got an answer. You can save your selection as a permanent channel. And it's this idea took me years to wrap my head around, but it's actually the simplest thing. You are just saving the marching ants. By going to select, save selection, and just calling it WAS, you are saving it to a new channel in this document, and hit OK. I'm going to hit Command D to deselect, and then you'll notice that it's saved just in grayscale, just black and white, and you could also have different grays in here, right? It saved just that selection. When you go back to the top, when you're ready to work again, you need to turn that off. So I'm going to shut this file down and show you why that was a good idea. So I come in the next day and I'm ready to continue work on this example. But I'm not willing to spend all of that time making a selection again. Select, load selection, document is Lomo, the channel is WAS, and it saves it. I super love these. The more time you make making a selection, the more saving it as an alpha channel can help. You can save every single thing as an alpha channel if you want. What's nice about this is that I could now come in and I could go layer, new layer via copy, and pull out the WAS. Or here's another thing you can do that I super love. By just selecting the alpha channel, you can see that here and here are not, that's not right. Like I made some errors. You can edit. You can edit this selection.
Now can you open the selection in a different document?
Yes. Yes. And we will come to that. So I'm going to edit this just a little bit to get rid of some stuff, right? And then I'm going to go back up to select the top 4. And if I go back to background and I go select, load selection, channel WAS, it will have that update. So what I also love about alpha channels is that you can turn everything else off and just edit this, right? So if you have a little bit over here or a little bit over here, you'll be able to see it, the black and white and grayscale, right? All an alpha channel is saving the selection. There are no pixels in there. It's not going to make your image file massive. It's just a selection. Sound good? All right, let's keep moving.